Yo guys, what's going on? My name is Max and welcome back to another coding tutorial. In today's video we are going to create this simple loading animation. Without further ado, let's get ready to code. So first of all, we are going to create a little bit of HTML. I'm going to create a div with the class loader, and inside of here I'm going to create 10 I elements, and each of these I elements will get an inline style. We use this inline style to set a CSS variable that acts as a counter. So in this case, we start from 0 and we go all the way to 9. We are going to use this for calculations later in the CSS. And that's actually all the HTML we need. We can jump into the CSS right now. I prepared a little bit right here to position everything in the center and this background image, but it is not really relevant for the loader itself. So let's select the loader and set a size. We are going to use this size variable to set the width and height of the circles. Next, we are going to define a color. I'm going to use this pink color, and we set display grid. And the columns, template columns, is going to be repeat 10 times one fraction, because we know we have 10 I elements and we want to place them right next to each other with the same amount of width. Next, we are going to set the height, and this is going to be a calculation out of the size variable times 3. Because we want it to be 3 times as high. Next, we are going to set a gap. For now, I'm also going to set this to size, but feel free to use whatever else you like. Or you could, for example, set a gap variable and set this right here and change it whatever you like. Works the same way. Next, we need to tackle the I elements. So let's open this up. And each I element is going to have position relative, because the circles, each I element will have 2 circles, and we are going to position them absolute inside of the I elements. The width of each is going to be the size variable, and that's actually it for the I element. Next, we are going to create some styles for the pseudo elements before and after. We need to set content to an empty string to make them visible. Basically, they are all position absolute, and a border radius of 50%, so we make them round. Width is 100%, so they grow to the width we set here, basically. Or no, here, but yeah, for each I element is 1 fraction, and 1 fraction will equal the width we set here. Right, so next we are going to set the aspect ratio to 1. We can also instead set the height to the size variable, but I prefer this way. You can choose whatever you like. Now we set the background color, and we set this to what we defined in our variable. You can see they are not right next to each other, but that's because I did a typo right here. We called repeat, obviously, and now we see we have these dots right next to each other. I'm going to set a border here just for demonstration purposes, so you can see the whole container. We're going to remove this later on, but this probably helps to see how it all works. So next we need to animate the before and after elements. So for this I'm going to set animation, and I'm going to call this animation load. It should run for 1 second. Feel free to use another variable for this. It should run forever, and the timing function is ease in out. Also, I'm going to set animation delay. I'm going to do this separately. It's going to be a calculation with a variable I that we have set here in our HTML. And we multiply this by 0.1 seconds. Also, feel free to change this 0.1 seconds. You can use whatever you want, but that basically means the first animation will start right away, 0 times 0.1 seconds. The second one will start at 100 milliseconds. The third one will start at 200 milliseconds. So next we are going to define the animation. We say keyframes load, it's the same name as here. And we set to scale 0.5, translate 0 and 200%, and opacity 0.5. You can play around with the scale and the opacity, whatever suits your needs. And now you can see they are being animated from top to bottom, and they change scale and opacity. But that's not the spiral effect we want to get. First of all, I'm going to remove the border because I think now you can see what happens inside of the loader div. So let's remove this. It looks much cleaner. All right, but the trick here is we are going to select the after pseudo element again, and we say animation, direction, reverse. And there you go. Now we have this spiral looking effect. So what animation direction reverse does is it will apply the animation to the after effect, but in reverse. So it will start with this setting basically and animate to the default look. So, and the default is going to be translate 0%. We don't have to set this anywhere because this is automatically. This is the default, and the default scale is going to be 1. The default opacity is going to be also 1. So, and there you go. The before elements start with the default styling on top, and they animate down to this. And the after elements, because of the animation direction reverse, will start with this setting at the bottom of the loader box and animate backwards to its original position and size. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to leave a comment and a like, and we see each other in the next video.